Recently, my family and I attended a University of Florida football game, a quintessential American experience and my very first. The Gators, underdogs hosting LSU, played before a crowd of 90,000 fervent fans. It was a pristine 75-degree day, the sun shining as if ordained for this communal spectacle. We stood in the student section, immersed in an atmosphere that was as much ritual as it was revelry. Every play had its choreographed cheer, every chant a communal prayer resonating through the stadium. If college football were a religion, this was its grand cathedral. The stands became pews, and the students, devoted clergy, their cheers echoing like hymns. And as with the sacred service, we barely sat, not wanting to miss a single moment of that kinetic liturgy. Amid the exhilaration, I found myself people watching, marveling at the collective energy. My gaze settled on one student, physically among the 90,000, but palpably alone. She seemed unsure of the cheers, her demeanor starkly misaligned with the stadium's electric vibe. Was she having a bad day? Did she come alone? Or was she simply lonely? Lonely in the sea of humanity. Loneliness is often described as the dissonance between the connection we crave and the reality we inhabit. It is solitude with a sting. It can arise from transitions, a new city, a breakup, illness, or financial stress, or profound existential moments. For many, it's exacerbated by global events, as we Jews have felt deeply in the wake of October 7th. The statistics are sobering. The U.S. Surgeon General reports that half of adults, experience chronic loneliness, a state linked to heightened risks of cardiovascular disease, dementia, stroke, and even premature death. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy compares our need for human connection to our need for food and water, an essential ingredient for survival. Yet, the average American spends 20 fewer hours each month with others than they did 2 decades ago. And for those aged 15 to 24, the decline is even steeper, a 70% reduction since 2003. Loneliness is a pervasive modern plague. Yet it is not without remedy. Judaism offers timeless wisdom, beginning in the Torah's opening chapters. From the very first verse, the Torah hints at the solitude of creation. The first day is called Yom Echad, day 1, rather than Yom Rishon, the ordinal first day. The choice of wording suggests isolation. God, alone in the universe, begins to create light, water, vegetation, living creatures. This act of creation, born from divine loneliness, mirrors our human impulse to fill emptiness with things. Yet, as anyone who has indulged in retail therapy can attest, accumulation does not solve the ache of solitude. God recognizes this. After creating Adam, God declares, Lo tov hayot ha'adam levado. It is not good for man to be alone. From God's own experience, God knows that Adam will need a partner, someone to mitigate the abyss of loneliness. Thus, Eve is created not as an afterthought, but as the Torah's first antidote to loneliness. And in this week's parsha, Vayetze, as we heard our beloved rabbis say, we present another profound encounter with loneliness. And this time it's Jacob fleeing his brother Esau, finding himself utterly alone in the wilderness. The Torah says Jacob was left alone. Words that resonate with the depths of human experience. Having left behind his home, his family, his possessions, Jacob wanders with nothing but a staff and maybe a jar of oil. It's in his solitude that Jacob wrestles with God. His struggle, both physical and spiritual, epitomizes the tension between isolation and connection. His journey is not just geographical, it is a search for belonging, for, dare I say, a covenantal relationship. He labors 7 years twice for the privilege of marriage, seeking solace in love and family. Yet the loneliness doesn't end with him. It's inherited by his son Joseph, who is abandoned by his brothers, thrown in a pit, left for dead, sold into slavery. Biblical loneliness is cyclical. It's learned and passed down. Yet Judaism counters it with covenant. You see, covenant is the framework for belonging, the sacred glue that binds individuals to one another and to God. It's a commitment to relationship, a promise that no one stands alone. In our synagogue, we close each service with a covenantal declaration. Temple Emanu-El is a house of prayer for all people, and all who gather with us in peace are most welcome in this house of prayer. These words are not just a sentiment. They are a call to action. We are a community committed to ensuring that no one feels alone in the pews, that no one is overlooked. So if you are here today and you feel a little isolated, please reach out. I know that first moment of initiation may seem harder than completing a 90-yard touchdown pass, but if you have the courage to make that play, we will not drop the ball. And if you're a regular attendee, blessed to know others, please reach out to a new face and get to know them a little bit. Stay for the oneg, where connections flourish over Cabernet and conversation. And if you're joining us online, send us an email or call us. We want to know you, and we want to help you to feel part of something greater. Our gather groups, curated by Rabbi Sarah Sepedon, offer countless opportunities to connect through interests, whether in study, service, or in celebration. And much of my Torah this evening is inspired by Rabbi Sepedon's teaching on loneliness. I'm very grateful for her scholarship. Though often invisible, loneliness is universal, transcending age, culture, and socioeconomic status. It's our collective responsibility to address it. As a community, we must cultivate understanding and extend a hand to those on the margins. We are called to ensure that our families, colleagues, and neighbors are seen and valued. So the lessons of Vayetze resonate deeply in this fractured world. Jacob's solitary struggle is not an endpoint, but a catalyst for transformation. His covenant with God becomes the foundation of a people, of our people. A reminder that connection is not just a human need, but in fact a sacred imperative. So as I think about that Florida LSU football game, I'm reminded of its curious paradox, the immense joy of communal unity juxtaposed with the isolation of one lone individual. In a stadium of 90,000, that solitary student underscored the importance of noticing the overlooked, of extending a hand to those who feel invisible. In the Broadway play, Dear Evan Hansen, the song You Will Be Found captures this sentiment beautifully. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, you will be found. The anthem reminds us that no matter how profound our loneliness, there is always the possibility of connection. Like the chants of the football crowd, our voices must rise together, not just in celebration, but in solidarity. May we, like Jacob, wrestle through our solitude to discover divine connection. May we honor the sacred covenant of community, ensuring that all who seek belong. And may we find the courage to be the friend, the sibling, even the stranger who says, you will be found. Shabbat Shalom. Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? So let that lonely feeling wash away, 'cause maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, you can reach out your hand. Someone will come running, they'll take you home, even when the dark comes. When you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you reach up and you rise again. Lift your head and look around, you will be found. 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 alone. You are not alone. You are not alone. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. If you reach up and you rise again, if you only look around, you will be found. You will be You will be found. You